slap your butts together.
You want to dance? Let's dance.
Dance in my pants.
Okay, so if I kick your ass, then do I get the money? If you kick the shit out of me, yeah, then you get the money. Beautiful. Welcome to the Higher Energy Superpower. This is episode 19 of the Turbo Duo Cast. I am your host, Salvatore Mata, and to my left is my brother from another game show lover, Trenton E. Wright the Third.
I'm talking about freaking hell and freaking out.
You have been known once or twice or on occasion to frequent a costume and character of Macho Man Randy Savage. Do I recall that in college that you
Yes.
performed?
Whoa. It was a solo act.
As the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah,
That's even weirder.
There was no Elizabeth. Yeah, you know what? And I remember because I went to Salvation Army. I bought a... Dude, this is how cool I was. Dude, I went to Salvation Army. Found like a black leather jacket or whatever. And then I bought a neon pink and a neon green poster board. And I fucking cut little squares. Like little half-inch squares.
And you pasted them to it?
And I fucking glued them onto the jacket. So one side was like checkerboard black and neon green. The other side was like checkerboard black and neon pink with a hot glue gun. Like individually, like placed them individually.
You do what you got to do, though, you know?
Yeah. And I think I was going to do it.
It's a pretty cool thought
to
do that.
But it was like... You were like fucking stickly like walking around because it was like all crunchy.
Yeah. Once you got it on,
things would just be like
popping off.
Yeah, just like
that sounds
but like
terrible.
The idea of it was great. Because I remember putting it together and this was 2004 or 2005, and it was funny because I think it was me, Donato. I don't know if Joel went, but because we were going to see. We were going to the Hollow Wicked show at the Palladium. It was like Twisted. I think it was just Twisted in ICP.
This is in Worcester,
Worcester,
Massachusetts.
Yeah, I think it was just Twisted because I think I wore it because it was Halloween either that day or like the next day. So they were doing their Hollow Wicked show and at the Palladium. Because I remember I remember meeting up with them and doing that.
I just remember seeing I wasn't there, but I remember you had filmed a video. Like you had cut a promo.
Oh, well, no. Well, that one was newer. That one was a couple years ago.
Oh, really?
Where I got the costume online.
Oh,
yeah. Then the old one.
Cut the music. Oh,
yeah. That's that was from like a couple 2 years ago or whatever.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Then I think
I
did the same with the hat. I bought like one of those like Halloween like foam black hats, and I put all the checkerboard things on that, and then I bought like a pair of those. I think they're like glasses you wear at like the gun range or like the safety glasses, and then I took like a sparkly glitter glue and I made it like the stripes on the glasses, so it kind of looked like the Macho Man glasses. Yeah, I'm talking about all out.
How do you feel about yourself after doing that?
I feel good. I remember watching like TNA Impact, like just watching wrestling while
you were
putting
doing
the thing. I was like, well,
man, you were just like a whole like you were in it to win it, huh?
It's like I should have just been watching like Macho Man's like greatest matches while putting the costume together.
I mean, YouTube had just come out.
That was 2004, probably. I think it came out 2003, maybe.
Yeah,
it was around that time.
People were still making stupid videos on it before they had figured out how to tap into YouTube.
Yeah, tap the ass.
One thing I wanted to mention before we kind of get into everything that I've been noticing, just wanted to make you guys aware too, and just to be careful as you're perusing and arousing your stimulants on eBay.
Stimulants?
I don't know what that means.
Did you mean to say stimulus?
Yeah.
Like using a stimulus
check?
check?
Yeah. Sure.
That's what I meant.
Thanks for saving me. Half the time I say stuff that doesn't make any sense. But I've been noticing a lot of repro games being sold on eBay, and I talked to you about this and how it kind of concerns me, because not that the repro itself, when it's sold from whoever creates it, is a problem, but the issues are that there are really high value games that are being sold as a repro for $25. You know, something, let's say like The Punisher for Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
And somebody's selling that, or Musha, right, for $25 case, and you know it's complete. But then what happens when somebody takes their copy that is a repro and tries to sell it online? Because there's no control over who is selling that repro afterwards, and if they're going to market that as a repro or if they're going to try to say that it's authentic. So there's no control there.
Yeah, but you can, if you're looking for an authentic one and you get a repro, then you can just send it back.
Right.
eBay always...
They're on the side of the consumer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a good thing, but it's just... Most of the time, in that case, it would be, right?
Yeah.
You know, when you're a seller and somebody tries to job you, you have no recourse.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if you're selling a fake copy and not, well, I'll say a fake copy, but if you're posting it and not mentioning that it's a repro,
right?
Because I mean, the average person doesn't know.
So I guess
because actually I just kind of went through that with the those two Pokemon games I got on DS. There was Pokemon Platinum and whatever.
And there's a lot of fake.
They're pretty much like all repros online.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really easy to know if it's a repro or not because on the back of the DS games, it has the Nintendo logo, but then it has like this
code
imprint that like you can't really like recreate.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's almost I don't know. It's not like a print where you can feel it, but you can see it in the cartridge like Y237.
Oh.
Like it's not like ink. It looks like it's, I don't know how
like it's shiny or something.
Yeah,
it's like a different texture.
So you can't basically can't like recreate like that on just a repro, you know?
Right.
Because even on the repros, they'll have the ink like serial code or whatever. Because I was looking, I had to like look through them to make sure what I was buying was an authentic cart, you know? Because the repros on like the DS games, they're like the front.
Do they work? Are they real?
I've never used one. Like a repro. There's a lot of Pokemon. It seems like are repros.
Pokemon is popular.
And Game Boy Advance like repros and Game Boy Advance, and like regular Game Boy. Pokemon seems to be like just like a market for repros.
Oh,
probably because they're so high in value. So
are they though? Like the blue and red, all those ones?
I don't know about the original ones, but like those ones on the DS.
Like Crystal.
They're going for like $100 each. Yeah, that Platinum and the Heart Gold. Yeah. Jeez. It's wild.
Hearts of Fire. Well, it's just a little public service announcement that when you guys are on eBay, obviously you got to be careful. So make sure that when you see a listing, make sure that you can actually see the item that you're going to be getting. Make sure you look it over. Make sure that the seller's got some good pictures on there, and you'll be able to tell if there's any,
falsehoods.
Yeah, that exists.
Yeah, if you see something, say something.
Right. Exactly. Who would you say it to?
I don't know. The person selling it.
Can you report a listing?
I think so.
On eBay?
I don't know. That's a weird line to cross. I mean, if they're just saying this is whatever Pokemon game, it doesn't. I think they probably don't have to. I don't know if they have to say if it's authentic or repro. I guess.
You think
I don't know.
You should say it's a repro if it's a repro. That's the thing. Yeah. That's my concern is as these repros start to filter in more and more, because we really haven't had a crazy amount of repros. Whenever you look online, you haven't seen it. But now, anytime you're searching on, I've been searching Sega Genesis stuff, and you're seeing it all the time now. And when I search the console itself and newest listings, and then I just go straight down. And there will be games on Sega Genesis, and somebody will list brand new, and it'll say repro. But then what happens when the next person gets that game? That's my concern. Yeah,
it's all hearsay.
Well, we'll see how it works out, right?
Yeah,
we'll see how it works out. We've got an episode for you guys. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. Due to popular demand, we are going to be discussing WWF Wrestlemania, or also known as Wrestlemania the Arcade Game, when it was brought to console.
Welcome to WrestleMania!
I think we both have some history with this game.
That's good shit.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to be talking a little bit about this game, some of the history of the game, the development of the game, what makes Wrestlemania the arcade game unique and special, right?
Ico Pro.
What the heck was that? Was that English?
Ico Pro. It's the supplement they were like pushing back in the early 90s. It's like, you want to get big? Ico Pro. You want to train like this? Ico Pro.
Was it basically just steroids?
Yeah, it was some like weird thing they sold at like GNC or whatever. It was like their hot thing in like the early 90s.
Is GNC out of business?
A lot of them have closed.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So Vitamin Shop is pretty much like the...
Yeah, I didn't hear about the Vitamin Shops closing. I think GNCs are like, they're kind of like everywhere because they're like smaller, so they'll like put them in like little plazas and in the mall, you know. So
I wouldn't know.
They don't have as like a big of an inventory, and yeah, they just kind of they're kind of like the GameStop of like vitamins and everything. It's like they're there.
GNC.
Yeah.
GNC.
Yeah, it's like the GameStop.
So what would that make Vitamin Shop?
I don't know.
The KB Toys. By default.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying because like GameStop was like the thing for years, and so it was like GNC.
Oh, you're talking about just they're past
the way,
prime.
yeah, the way they kind of ran their business. Like GameStop used to be like the number one. That's where everybody went, and then like
Babbage's,
and then like stories came out about, and then the pricing and this and that, and like
right,
yeah, just like GNC like used to like just like push their brand, and you had to sign up for the gold card and. Just the way like the Funko and GameStop was like, oh, you got to sign up with this, and
I enjoy it. I like it.
GameStop?
I'd like to be upsold. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Try to get me as far as you can get me.
Got yourself a goddamn deal, Rondell.
Well, I mean, you know the thing about it is there's a personal interaction. I mean, it's like, you know, people don't want to interact with anybody today. You don't want to have a conversation with anybody. We're so emotionally devoid. We're so personality-wise, we're so devoid of anything of any kind of culture that we just say we don't want to see or talk to anybody. Like, what kind of society is that? How do you live if you don't talk to anyone?
I can't live if living is without you. I can't live.
We are off the rails early on the podcast. We're off the rails early. Let's get into our modern retro
we're
moment.
talking on and off the rails, yeah.
Also known as our "It's Still Real to Me, Damn It" moment.
I love it here.
It's still real to me, damn it!
So I'm going to just leave this to you, Trent, on the modern retro because there's quite a few things, and we're going to talk about some pickups that you've gotten. Most specifically, there is a device that you got that plays that plays games from the past that I think you want to share with us today.
Oh, the past and present participle.
Yeah. I don't think you ever studied English, but you can sound smart.
That's all you need in life. That's how, you know, like when you just like walk into place, you walk in like with confidence, and like when you want to cut in line somewhere or just like skip ahead, you just walk in like you're already in line.
Like
no, I'm good, thank you. And then they're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, he's confident. He's confident, so he must be.
He knows where he's going.
Yeah, he must have authorization.
So you can't. No, I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
Right now, Chief, I'm in the zone.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of your recent pickups, because there's some very unique, very cool things that you have in your pickup basket that I think that everybody
in my picnic basket.
That's right. That I think everybody would like to see. So what do you want to start with?
I guess we could start with the hottest new handheld on the market.
Ooh, something I didn't even know about. So you turned me on to this.
Turn me on.
Mm-hmm. So there's a new portable that came out this year, apparently, and Trenton picked it up, and it apparently uses cartridges. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir. It's almost like the cartridges almost look like the Neo Geo Pocket color.
Okay.
They're kind of, or I mean, you know, they're basically like a Game Boy Advance kind of looking game. So the system's called Evercade, and it's weird. Like I guess they got licenses from a bunch of different companies: Technos, Data East, Atari, They're coming out with an Atari Lynx 1 and 2, and then they kind of did like the Atari Volume 1 and 2, which is like 2,600 and 7,800 games.
7,800 games.
Yeah, there's actually a couple 7,800 games that are pretty decent. Like the Atari 2,600 games, it's just like it's like 50 games of like it's just like all variations of just pixels on a screen, you know. But like the Data East one has Double Dragon 2, Super Double Dragon, dodgeball, volleyball.
We know about dodgeball.
Oh yes, we do. And then they also have some like indie developers like Megacat and Pico who are like. I think
That's
they put
right here.
they put like a bunch of games on like Steam and like PlayStation 4, the eShop. So basically like a lot of 8-bit and 16-bit games. I think that's like the highest
level of graphical fidelity.
Yeah. But I mean I watched like a ton of reviews before cuz I was like I wanted to make sure it was at least it's backwards, sir. It's a tight fit.
I was going to say it didn't feel
Yeah.
It's just what's too bad about it is it doesn't have a compartment that you need a screwdriver to undo to put the cartridge in, like the N-Gauge, because that would make it more official.
You gotta take the battery out to put the game in.
Yeah. Do you remember that? Remember that with the N-Gauge?
Yeah, that was the regular N-Gauge.
Yeah, Mom.
No, it's actually you got to hold it even more sideways like that.
Yeah, Mom. I'm at GameStop. Yeah, I'm trying to get an N-Gauge game inside of my N-Gauge. I'm having trouble. I need to go to True Value, get a screwdriver. All right, I'll be home in 15.
So what do you mean you can't hear me? No, it must be your phone. Like in Dirty Work?
Hello? Dirty Work? No, I can hear you fine. It must be your phone. Sure, we'll be right over.
Huh? No, it must be your phone. It's just he's just holding like that one piece here, one piece there. It's like
That's great. That's. I love
yeah,
that
I mean, I don't know how true most of the reviews because it seemed like every popular YouTube like channel they sent like a system to. I mean, they all pretty much said the same thing. Like for what it is, it's pretty solid. The screen's not like super high definition, but.
It's like
it's
a traditional LCD screen.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool because you like each game comes in like a little like a Game Boy box and it got the cartridge and a booklet and it has like a little page on each game.
I like that. I like how it's it's got the plastic clamshell.
It's made for retro gaming, man. It's for the collectors.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's the boot up screen.
That is a loud.
I think I probably had it at the top.
Jeez. Gonna blow everybody's ears out.
Yeah, so I was like I got it, and then I went through and I kind of like picked up like all the games that were available.
Oh, Coffee Crisis. This is one that I've seen.
It's actually not that good.
Really?
Like a lot of people were talking about it. Like I guess Metal Jesus is a character in it, and it's a beat 'em up. And like I was playing it, and it was just like the hit detection in it. There's like no the sound effects aren't really that great.
It's like Combat Tribes.
Yeah, like when you're swinging to like hit an enemy, there's really like no like. I want that oomph. I want like that cracking sound, and
we're gonna be talking about a game today that has a cracking sound,
and it's just not in there. But there's a really good. What was that game? What did I say?
Tanzer.
Yeah, Tanzer is a really good game.
Did you go through all of them?
No, I haven't played because I've been playing that Tanzer game, and for some I don't know why. I think it's just because it's like a quick game to play. I have like the Data East one. I've been playing like Side Pocket like crazy.
Dude, I love pool games. I don't know what it is about that. Like
it's like
Minnesota Fats Pool Legend is like a game that I could actually just sit and like. That's one of those just chill. Like you just want to play a game and not have to.
Yeah, because sometimes like at the end of the night or whatever, I'll just pop in Side Pocket and play for like 20 minutes because it's just a game you can literally like just turn on, just play for a few minutes and just shut it off and like have no like attachment to it.
Right.
Or like Yeah, that he's actually playing it right now during the game.
Oh, you know what? This has got like a Strider vibe.
Remember, yeah, that's what I told you. I was like, it's kind of like a Strider, like run and gun.
But the control is like really tight.
It's like
already you can tell
it's really good.
Yeah, this is. And what I really love about it is the parallax.
Dude, every game they were like, we gotta put parallax scrolling.
I'm just kidding.
But it's really good.
You do see it though.
Yeah, it is a really good game though.
Yeah, no, this is pretty cool. How much does this cost?
So it was actually. So I actually bought like I don't know if it was like used or not, but I got it on Amazon. So you can get it brand new for $100, and it comes with 3 cartridges. It comes with Atari, Interplay, and Data East for $100.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then the cartridges are only like $20 each.
That's cool too.
And you can hook it up through HDMI to your TV, and it actually is supposed to look like really good on the TV too.
Oh, dude, Midnight Resistance is on here.
Yeah.
Is it the Sega version?
Yep.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, man, it's pretty cool. I just like the thing is, all right. So when you have like that little handheld I got you, like the RGT 350 or whatever it is, or whatever it was. The thing is, like when emulators, it's like, all right, I'm just gonna dump a bunch of ROMs on here, and it's like there's like so many games that you'll play one for like a minute, and then like play another one, and then
you feel no connection to the game.
Yeah, you're just like playing random. I'll play this for a few minutes, and I was like, oh, I want to play this other game. Oh, I want to play this other game. The thing is, like, there's like 10. I don't know, depending on.
There's no focus.
Depending on the system that they pull the games from, some of them have like 10, or some of them have 6 or like 15 games. So it's kind of like limited. So you're kind of like stuck on
they're
like
packs.
that cartridge.
They're game packs.
Yeah, and the fact that you can collect them. So I think they have like 10 out right now, and it's weird because I ordered Namco 1 and 2, but for some reason I guess they don't have the rights to the Namco games in the United States. So I had to order it from overseas.
PlayAsia or something?
No, Funstock.uk.
Oh,
but it was the games were only $20 each, and I got a case, and the shipping was only $6.
well, I noticed that this cartridge has a PEGI logo on it, so that tells me like the rating system is PEGI, which is from Europe.
Oh, yeah, I think they're like the company's located in the UK, like that made the system.
Yeah,
and they just posted little on their like Facebook group. They were asking people, is like, if we made a home console, what would you like to see on it? So they could be probably
the
working
Coleco
on
Chameleon. That's what I want to see.
Actually, the majority of people asked for Jaguar support.
Oh God.
And we've sunk to a new low. So they could be making a home version, which might play other games and then also be compatible with the mini cartridges. I don't know. But yeah, I guess every like 2 or 3 months they're coming out with new cartridges. I mean, if you're into like retro, it's kind of cool because you can collect them, and
this
have,
is actually
the
like
cartridges
this is like the perfect thing for our channel, like in terms of new ideas for old games. Like, this is actually a really good idea. I really like the form factor. I like the way it feels. I like how the action buttons are really like large, so they're easy to press. They're not.
Yeah, it's about the size of a PS.
Tiny buttons.
Like the screen is the exact size of like the PSP.
But like even the PSP, the buttons are really small. So it's almost like
the face buttons.
The face buttons are really small, and it seems like anytime they make a portable, it's made for somebody with smaller hands. And I got these big sausage fingers, so I really need something that can.
Yes, you want something with a little girth to it.
Yeah, I need something that's a little bit thicker, a little bit wider, a little bit meatier.
Yeah, and it doesn't always have to be a handheld game. It could be something else.
It could be something else, just something that's firm.
Yeah,
that I'm getting away from my point. My point being,
or maybe you're getting closer to it.
The point is there. My point is that this is made for adult hands. I think this is made for that adult who wants to play the retro gaming, not for a child.
Yeah.
Of
course.
That's playing a retro. That's playing getting into games and getting a portable, which is what I like about it. So
yeah, man, it
actually feels pretty hefty too. Like not too heavy.
Yeah, it's
but
not like cheap and
heavy enough.
Light,
it doesn't feel like it's poorly made. Yeah, it's all in all, I think it's actually really impressive. And for $100 to get the 3 packs and the system.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Don't
worth
worry,
it.
Guys. We're not getting any compensation from Evercade to do this. This is just purely our excitement about the games.
Yeah, we're not even on that level yet.
Well, that's excellent. That's awesome. So you're having fun with that. I think it's great, especially for somebody like you you're so active and out and about, that this is something that you can have fun with, that you can take with you, that you've got 15-20 minutes that you're somewhere, you can pop this on, play a little bit, and get some game time in.
Yeah, and it's got save states in it too, so
that's cool. So you don't necessarily have to,
because that Tanzer game's a little it can get difficult. It's weird. Like, it's funny because like the bosses, they always have like these patterns, like in like Altered Beast, like there's like one spot where you can stand and just go.
That's great. I love that though. I love it when you can figure out the secrets.
Once you figure out that spot, you're just like, all right.
That makes it satisfying. I mean, it makes it easy and afterwards, but just figuring that out is really it's fun. Cool. So, anything else you'd like to share?
Oh, then we got the Ultimate Action Duo.
That's right. I would say our favorites here are character action games. I would think, right?
Like side-scrolling action games.
Side-scrolling action games. I mean, I think that's like the sister of like beat 'em ups in a way.
Yeah.
So those jive with our channel.
Yeah, we got the two heavy hitters. They were critically acclaimed.
I don't know. I don't know if they were that critically acclaimed.
They were just from acclaim.
But they're one of those kind of games that in their time maybe were not as heralded, but now when we go back and play games, these are some of those deeper cuts. We always say play more sevens.
Yeah, they weren't Geraldo revered.
No. And these are the games that you go back and you're like, man, these games were better than we gave them credit for. But the problem is that there was probably so much going on at the time that they got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, and there's
or they're a movie license.
That's
game.
what I was gonna say. It was like, all right, well,
which is
we've experienced enough of that other than Nintendo. We're not going down. We're not
right.
going down that path
People
again.
tend to throw it away. You know? So well, why don't you share?
So the two ones I picked up, Demolition Man for the Genesis, complete with the booklet, and then True Lies with Arnold. Just a case in the box. I mean, I think complete was going for like over 50, and it wasn't like I need to have game. It was like I want the game.
Out of the two, Demolition Man is the one that I would.
Yeah.
If I had to choose. That being said, these are both games I'm really,
I'm fine not having
excited.
Yeah, I'm fine not having the booklet for True Lies.
Because we never played these back in the. I never played these back in the day.
I played it. I remember renting it like one time from ShopRite.
Which one?
True Lies. I think it was on the. I think it was when I only had the Super Nintendo, but it might have been on Sega. But like, I wouldn't even count it because I literally have like I don't remember. I remember renting it, but I don't remember like playing it or really remember anything that happened in the game.
I'd be really interested to learn who actually developed them, if it was Acclaim or if they actually shopped this out to somebody because
it's good.
Yeah,
allegedly.
That's my point. I mean, it's actually
like if
they're well-made games
for
supposedly.
anyone. Yeah, for anyone. If you've seen video or played Terminator on Sega CD, it's a lot like that. But there are I don't know if there's one or a few levels that are like overhead, which is how True Lies plays.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, allegedly it's good. It's funny. We saw like I don't know, it was like a month or two ago. We were like watching some like gameplay footage of some games, and the Demolition Man came up, and they were like, "Oh, we gotta have that. We need it now."
Yeah, yeah. When we saw it, just the way that the moment to moment action looked, it was just really tight, and the graphical effects that they accomplished on a Sega Genesis with this game. It's funny. We think about. The Genesis got started in '89. You had games like Altered Beast on it, and Arnold Palmer Tournament Golf, and then it's in 1994 and 1995. It's playing games like Demolition Man.
Yeah, which it is available on Sega CD. It's pretty much the same game, obviously just with the FMV
cutscenes.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's literally twice as much as the Sega version. So the complete
this one
Sega CD is going for like $100. So I mean. I don't think it's not a game I want to spend $100 on.
But that being said, the Terminator on Genesis versus the Terminator on Sega CD, they're pretty much two completely different games.
Yeah, this is one where it's just
they're the same game. It's just it might have the Sega CD soundtrack, which is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Sega Genesis games where the MIDI soundtrack or the Genesis chiptune soundtrack is actually really good.
Genesis is known for those crunchy tunes.
Right. That's awesome. Those are two excellent pickups. If you guys have a chance to see these and you can find them for, less than $40, those are two to look out for.
Yeah, because I think that's what True Lies I think I got for like $32 because I bought the cartridge and someone had the box, so I pieced it together.
You jerry-rigged it.
Yeah.
Right.
Screwed me over there. And then Demolition I think it was like 45 or 42 or something like that.
That's about right. Anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Oh, there's one more thing.
All right, let's do it.
It's a big pickup.
Awesome.
It's a big box.
So I'll introduce this for you, Trenton. So it's always great when we can, because as time goes by and you go through your gaming history. You tend to either lose things or maybe you didn't value things in a certain way, and then you move on, and then you realize, I really would love to have that original thing that I had.
Or you were too young to even know.
That's what I'm saying. You were too young to know that you would even want to value that. You
Yeah.
know, so case in point for me was like the Saturn box. That has the Virtua Fighter sticker on it. That was one that I really, really wanted. It was the first thing I ever saw from Saturn, and I just had to have it. And getting it was a special moment for me. And I know for you, your first foray into gaming was the NES, and so you got a very special original set that was the original set that I believe you had gotten when you were a kid, right?
As far as I can remember, because I don't remember seeing the box except one time on Christmas when I got it.
It's a heavy box.
It's a real big box.
And it's heavy because it has something very heavy inside of it. Look at that.
I don't even think I'm gonna be out of camera now.
Yeah.
This is the original Nintendo Power Set with the Power Pad, the Zapper, and Mario Brothers. And this, when I say this thing, the box has one little tear on the front, but the system and everything else and the foam inside is like mint. It's like it's literally been stored in here for like at least
somebody
20.
really took care.
Yeah,
took
like
care of it.
they just, because I messaged the person I bought it from after, and I was just saying, was this, like, I didn't know, like, was this yours or did you get it from someone? And they said no, it was mine. I literally had just kept it in the box for like, I don't know, at least like 20 years or something.
25 years.
Yeah, because it took the system is like, it's like it like shimmers when you take it out.
I want to see that afterwards. Yeah.
And all the original manuals and paperwork and everything.
It looks brand new.
Yeah,
just out of the box.
And then and the thing is, I think I paid I think I paid $185 or something like that. And I also got
that's the original price.
Yeah, or oh, was it?
Oh, I don't know.
It sounds about right, right?
Yeah.
And it also came with The Simpsons and Space Mutants, Paperboy, and Kings of the Beach, all complete.
Space Mutants, is that the one where you have to spray everything purple?
Yeah.
I kind of like that one.
Yeah, it's like a challenge. It's not. I don't know. There's something about it that's just like.
I played it a lot when I was a kid. So that might be it.
But that was like the first game and the thing is like when you put it boots right up. There's no blinking, like at least on the system, like it's so clean.
Yeah.
Like you put the game in and it just boots right up. No blinking, no like nothing.
This hasn't been touched by human hands in terms of like refurbing it, and it's still like
in the power pad
great.
is still in its like own separate box, and they're all folded up just like the way it was. Like
wow, that's amazing.
And then I picked up this. You might not be. I picked up one of those, like the little Defender cases you can get for your games, but I actually somebody makes one for this specific power set.
Well, they make it for the Saturn box too.
Yeah, so it's a sweet display piece. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that is really cool. And you got it for a really good price too. I think. Yeah, you just got to keep your eyes peeled on stuff like that. How long was it listed?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe just it had been up for a little while and wasn't like a high demand for like this the set like this, or I don't know. I was like, hell yeah. Yeah,
especially when you can find it in that condition, and the box has its own integrity too. It's not. Sometimes you see a box that maybe looks good, but it's bowed out, or it doesn't have the foam, or
there's some parts that are a little faded, or
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know. They must have like stored this in like a container and just had it forever,
No, that's an excellent piece.
More for me.
Well, it's a special thing for you to have because it's something you grew up with. So that's definitely a commendable piece. So, well, that's gonna wrap it up for our modern retro moment. Trenton, are you playing anything right now that is on console at all? Have you been messing around with any of the stuff as you've been testing out your systems?
Not a console gamer. No, I haven't. I just been playing the Evercade.
Yeah.
Lots of Side Pocket.
There you go.
Side Pocket.
Do you remember playing that when you were younger?
No.
All right.
The thing is, it's like not even that good. It's like not
it's
even.
No Minnesota Fats Pool legend, everybody.
Yeah, it's like it is kind of difficult. I don't know if the physics are great or not. It's kind of hard to tell, but there's just I don't know. There's just something about it. It's just kind of
calming.
Yeah, like it actually has the background music's pretty good. It's pretty solid. It's a lot of like.
Sometimes a game just has an intangible that you don't really. It's hard to describe, but
yeah,
it just kind of works.
I think it's more just like like because I like the puzzle games and stuff, like just pick up and play like puzzle games and stuff like that. It's so I mean, pool in a way is kind of like a puzzle game.
Yeah.
So it's just like play it. Next thing you know, I end up playing it for like 45 minutes, just like the same levels over and over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, no big console games at the moment.
Well, so I made a mission to myself. I said last year.
Men on a mission.
That I wanted to head back into.
Oh, here we go.
I wanted to head back in and finally defeat Turtles the Arcade Game on Nintendo. We had our Turtles episode way back
in the archives
when we talked about how Turtles really kind of stands atop.
I feel like that was like our third or fourth episode.
I don't know, but we talked about how the Turtles kind of stands atop the pantheon of beat 'em ups.
In the pantheon, it's the upper. You talking about some upper echelon type hoe?
Yeah. when we think about beat 'em ups, the upper echelon includes the big three, which is Final Fight,
Turtles,
Streets of Rage,
and Turtles.
Those are the three ones when I think about beat 'em ups. When I think about the classic beat 'em ups, and I think about the best playing beat 'em ups, those are the three that I think.
Would you say the one that doesn't make the podium would be Golden Axe? Is fourth place?
I almost don't really put Golden Axe in the same. I mean, that's like saying Alien Storm. Like, where's Alien Storm in the pantheon of? Because Alien Storm is a beat 'em up with fire guns. Essentially is what it is.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's a lesser known game. I understand.
But I mean, you have a series of Golden Axe.
I don't know.
games,
I always just kind of put Golden Axe on its own sort of thing, because there's a lot of jumping in Golden Axe, like jump slashing.
Right.
I don't know.
No, you know what? I guess I guess you could put Double Dragon as the fourth.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying with Golden Axe, and there's validity there. I kind of think of Golden Axe as its own thing with like the slash 'em up sort of thing.
I would say Double Dragon would be the fourth then.
And Double Dragon is the progenitor, let's just say, of that.
Whoa, hold on. You throw out all these big words I don't understand. I'm gonna take them as disrespect.
It's it's kind of the game that came before the game that really.
What was that word? Progenitor.
The progenitor.
That sounds like an action movie Stallone would be in. You've seen him in Demolition Man. Now he's the progenitor.
I'm coming for you. Give me back my fucking son. Oh, that was Ransom. I'm sorry. That was Mel Gibson.
I was like, that didn't happen in Cliffhanger. Yeah, because he'd be like, give me back my fucking son. Yeah, they're like over the top.
Yeah. And then because I always I think of Final Fight as like the Godfather. Final Fight is like the Godfather of like the modern beat 'em up.
I mean, we did a whole episode on it, but I mean, there's really only one good Final Fight.
No, I agree. But but
I think Streets of Rage is the number one.
Oh no, Streets of Rage is the number one.
Oh, well, what do you mean? What you just said? You said it was. Oh, you're saying it's the Godfather, as in it was like the original.
It was the first beat 'em up of the modern beat 'em up.
Oh, okay.
That's why I call Double Dragon the progenitor, because the Double Dragon started the idea of that, and Renegade started the idea of two dudes walking down the street beating up other guys.
Yeah.
And chicks, with whips and chains.
Damn. I got whips and chains and shit. What I'm supposed to do.
All right, let's get back to this. All right, we're dawdling here.
What?
So,
dawdling? Fucking Christ.
Do you know language?
Dawdling? Who the fuck says dawdling? What was he? A progenitor? What the fuck? What are these words? No one has ever heard of these words.
Read a fucking book, man.
Jesus Christ. All right, what are we talking about?
We're talking about Turtles 2.
Oh, okay.
And I honestly, I haven't looked back at our old episode. I don't know what I said about Turtles 2 back then, but what I can tell you is
you mean you don't go back and listen to them all day?
No, not usually.
Oh.
Not usually. Plus, that was so far back.
That was before we had microphones.
Yeah. So just so you guys know, I listen to our episodes like a bunch of times as we're editing to get them out and make sure we've got everything in its proper place. And then, Trenton gets them and puts all the video and everything into it. And once we're done, I'm done. I don't really listen to the old episodes. So I don't know what we said about TMNT 2 and 3.
I'm sure it was all praises. All praises due.
Yeah, but the one thing that I picked up from TMNT coming away from this, because we couldn't beat the game, and I was like, why can't we get? I feel like we're doing something wrong here, and I discovered there's a move that you can do, which is basically a jump slash, and you basically roll your finger from B to A, and it jumps. If you hit it right, if you time it right, he'll do a short jump and slash, whether it's a sword or whether it's the
like a straight jump up, or like one of the not like a jump kick where you jump and move forward.
There's the jump kick, but then there's a slight jump, and then if you hit the action button right after jumping, he does a little hop slash.
But I'm saying he's not moving. You're not moving forward when you do it, or you're just jumping straight up like a vertical jump and slash.
It's a straight jump up, but it's only a quarter jump.
So I'm guessing that avoids you getting hit when an enemy tries to attack you.
So
and you can hit them.
When you do that, it's a one-hit kill on the foot soldiers. So remember, and I think now I'm remembering it. So we were saying how in TMNT 2 there was a delay where you'd hit the guy, and then it was almost like he was invulnerable for like a short, maybe like 1 second, but that would open up his opportunity to hit you, and then every time you'd get like this you'd get they kill you slowly basically. So by using this jump slash, you can actually avoid getting a lot of damage.
So you mean it helps you basically save your lives until like
you,
whatever the end part where whatever boss it was that we couldn't beat.
You can basically burn through a lot of the game by using this jump. Now it'll ruin your thumbs. I sent you the pictures of my thumbs. We'll have to put that in here if I still have them. But literally by doing this jump slash, you can get through the game. But you also, I've learned to appreciate this game even more after playing through it again. Just the level design of TMNT2, the characters, the bosses, just a very well-made game, and you have to figure out the weaknesses of each boss. It's not, you can't just use the jump slash all the time just by walking up to him with a boss, because bosses have a lot of energy. So you have to either stand in a certain place or you have to avoid certain things. But as you play this game more and more and more, that's what makes this game so great, is that it just gets better the more that you play it. You know,
never loses its charm.
Yeah, and so I played the other night. I played and I got to Shredder, and I died. I continued 3 times, and I died every time. And I was like, "What's going on here?" And so the magic of the internet is you can figure out what you're doing wrong. And
so you use that attack mainly for Shredder?
No, that attack was mainly for the foot soldiers and regular enemies, the Rockmen. That stuff. When you get to the bosses, you have to kind of follow a different path. It doesn't mean you can't use the jump slash, but you might need to be standing in a certain place to avoid getting hit. Might, so you have to be really diligent as to where you are and how you move. But I think I didn't continue at all. I died twice, and I beat the game. Really? Yeah.
Solid.
Now I beat some bosses with 1 sliver of life, so that was kind of like, otherwise I would get to the next level and have to burn a life by getting there. So it's one of those games that it's very well made. You can tell that Konami did such a good job. I think TMNT2, the arcade game, is right up there with we talk about Streets of Rage 2 and 3 and 1, and we talk about Final Fight. I think TMNT2 stands sort of toe to toe with those. If it's not Streets of Rage, it's a minuscule amount underneath that. I have a different opinion of TMNT 3 though than I did before.
Why'd you go back and play it again?
And then I played TMNT 3, yeah. And TMNT 3 is I hate to say it's derivative. I know that's another big word that you're going to make fun of me for. It doesn't have the same charm to me that TMNT 2 did. It's almost like with TMNT 3, they sort of phoned it in a little bit. They just said, okay, we need to have levels, we need to have bosses, we need to have foot soldiers.
Yeah.
And we're just
it's definitely not.
We're just gonna design it around what we did in TMNT 2.
But they didn't pull like a Final Fight 3.
No, it's still a very good a very good game. You can't do the jump slash anymore in TMNT 3. You have to do this down A. He pokes the guy and throws him over his shoulder.
Yeah.
And that's the move that you do. But
Yeah, they kind of adopted that in
but it's not as
in,
it's not as intense though. It's not as
in,
intense as TMNT 2.
the Super Nintendo one. I think that was like,
Is that what you do?
yeah, or it's kind of like that throwing the.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I've after playing those two games, TMNT 2 is still my favorite,
Oh yeah, of course.
and
No one's arguing that.
and it's the best Turtles game in my opinion that's ever come out, and it's just a really really special game. So that was a lot of fun. And then the other game that I've been playing that I haven't beaten yet is Mystic Defender on Sega Genesis, which came out in '89.
1989.
And it's one of these games that kind of gets lost in time because whenever everybody talks about the early days of the Genesis, they're always talking about Golden Axe and Revenge of Shinobi and Ghouls
Sonic
and Ghosts
and all the big hitters.
and even Altered Beast.
Yeah,
But I'm talking about '89, maybe that threshold right when the '90 hit. And so Mystic Defender kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But
that's for the hardcore gamers.
little did you know, Trent, the first game I ever saw.
I seen them.
Or one of the very very early games that I ever saw on Genesis was Mystic Defender.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was.
What do you mean you saw it?
Going over Matt's house, and one of the very very first games I saw them play. And I remember the first.
Wait, he had it?
Yeah, well, he had brothers that were like 8 or 10 years older than him, so they had all the Sega games. Like they had all of them. They had by that time when I got to his house in '91. They had Strider, they had Ghouls and Ghosts, they had Mystic Defender, they had Phelios, obviously Altered Beast. I don't know if I said Golden Axe, Revenge of Shinobi. They had everything. You
know what's weird? They never even when you think about all those
Rambo 3.
No, I'm just saying you think about those deep cut games that even came on later systems. Is I never really had any of them. You didn't really either, did you?
Which
I'm just talking about in general. We kind of mainly had or at least I did, mainly the heavy hitters, the more well-known games.
Oh yeah.
And you look back and there's all these games I never even heard of. A lot of PS2 games. I was I don't even know what these games are.
PS2 there's 4,000 games.
Yeah, and it's what? I don't even heard of this game.
No.
And
you find that on the Genesis where you're this came out on Genesis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We were, of the age back then, and
I didn't know of Thunder Force.
Yeah, it's there's all these Genesis games. All these games came out. I think it was because it was you either heard it was in the magazines they didn't cover those games as much, or you just didn't really pay attention to them because it wasn't a familiar name, or it was the other ways you'd find out about games was renting them, and Blockbuster only got usually got the bigger name games, or they only had one copy of some other. And if you didn't recognize it, you usually wouldn't even rent it.
I mean, the biggest games when I was growing up that we were getting on Genesis were the Madden games. The Sports Doc Baseball, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was a big deal.
Yeah.
Streets of Rage when that came out was a big deal. Golden Axe 2. So it was mostly the really, really big time games.
Yeah, it's what'd you rent? Oh, I rented Phelios. Huh?
Well,
how's that?
Phelios is the one that Matt actually had. So that's that's the only reason why I knew about that. There was no way I would have known about that.
Yeah, that is I didn't know any, even I'm talking about any other friends. It was we pretty much all had the same games.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 2.
All these other games. What? I've never heard of these games.
Well, it's the same thing with Super Nintendo. You played Mario World.
No, I know that's what I'm saying.
Star Fox.
I was saying, we never even you keep looking back on all the generations game that kept coming out, and it was everyone always kind of had all this, mostly all the same games.
Because remember, we were younger. There were older gamers that were
no.
deeper into this.
No, I'm saying, but even as we got older, I don't think we even got into the more deep cut games.
Yeah, I mean, I did that with Dreamcast a little bit. I was really excited and really a Dreamcast.
On the Saturn, well, obviously, you kind of had more the more well-known games.
Yeah.
Well,
I had, but it's funny because I had people that were looking out for Saturn games for me that were giving me these deeper cuts Galactic Attack.
Yeah, I'm talking later on though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
well,
what I mean.
Well, not later. This is 90.
Oh, really?
7.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So kind of in the moment, but you're right. I mean, most systems, most people are just going after the big time games.
Yeah.
And then the deeper cuts you almost have to figure out afterwards. And
yeah, years later.
Yeah, and
it's
then
a hidden gem.
when you're paying twice the amount that they cost when they originally came out, and we haven't factored in inflation.
Yeah.
Ain't you heard
And
of
then
inflation?
eBay takes a cut, and then PayPal takes a cut.
So everybody's getting.
They're all sucking the teat when no one's doing any real work.
Everyone is getting slippery. All right. I would do the system launch tournament, but I think
Holy shit.
I think we need to get into WrestleMania.
Jeez, yeah.
Well, it's Genesis versus N64, which is going to be a quick conversation, but we'll leave it for next time. We'll keep them tantalizing. We'll keep them just
always got to leave them in suspense.
with
You know
bated
what?
with bated breath.
Yeah, when they think they got to figure it out, I switch it up. Yeah, just like that. You thought I was going to say something else, but it didn't.
Ooh, you got to take it away. Yeah.
That's right, baby.
So WrestleMania the Arcade Game.
The arcade game from Acclaim.
From Midway.
Acclaim.
The big boys, where the big boys play over at Midway. It's so funny that Acclaim published so many of the big Midway games.
They're like, ooh, it's a big name. We want.
Why wouldn't Midway just publish their own game on consoles?
Maybe they had some kind of deal, or maybe they just didn't want to deal with it. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
you got to use your own money, and it's like, well, Acclaim's they're a name, and it was probably just they handle it well or something. I don't know. I'm just guessing why they would do it.
Well, the bigger name that we should be talking about that is a lesser name, but I think more
It's the most
consequential,
known unknown.
more consequential to the development of this game and to a lot of the games that we've talked about. I feel like we mention this team all the time, and that's Sculptured Software.
Yeah, yep.
We talk about them all the time. Can you remember some of the games that we've talked about? There's
Sculptured.
There's one game in particular we talk about quite a bit lately that was made by Sculptured Software.
Recently?
There's a couple of games. Well, yeah. So let me run off a list of some of the games that they made.
Let me bang some of these out.
So the Super Star Wars franchise on Super Nintendo,
Yeah.
Star Wars Empire Strikes Back.
I don't fuck with it.
You don't, but that was a big time
yeah,
that was
I
a
know.
big time series. A game that I came across in a Salvation Army once, complete in the box, Captain Novelin.
Oh, I used to have that game.
Mm-hmm.
I picked it up at a pawn shop. Yeah. What a title.
Simpsons Bart's Nightmare.
Yeah, these are all great games.
WWF Royal Rumble and Raw.
Oh, Sculpture did it. All the versions?
They did them.
No,
Yep, all the home ports.
they did them hard. But LJN published it then.
Yep.
On the Super Nintendo.
Didn't Flying Edge do some of them?
Oh yeah, for the Sega.
For Sega.
Yeah.
They did all of the 16-bit home ports of Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3.
That's what I thought. What was I thinking? Probe.
Well,
what Probe is that?
Probe
On Genesis.
I think Probe might be like Acclaim's like Phantom developer, almost like
like four people, like
almost like
four
ballistic,
companies.
almost like Ballistic and Accolade maybe.
Yeah. No, because I definitely remember seeing like that Probe thing when you
the
would
Probe
boot
logo,
up
the
when
blue-
you'd boot
the-
up Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat.
that stone blue.
Yeah.
The Punisher on Sega Genesis.
Okay.
Boogerman. They made the Boogerman
Oh, Interplay.
games.
They wait. They
Sculpture Software developed.
So Interplay just
Shopped it out.
That's one of the games on the Evercade system too.
Space Jam. The Immortal Space Jam on PlayStation and Saturn.
God, I remember renting that game for like a party I had. Not good. That was my bad.
I had happy memories of it, and then we played it recently, and it was horrible. The very, very lackluster, and I'm disappointed after playing it and spending a lot of money on it. Batman Forever, the arcade game.
Oh wait, did I? I don't think did. I try that with you?
Actually, no. Batman Forever. I don't think it's the arcade game. I think it's the 16-bit ports, which are different. Which is a different game.
Yeah, because that's a claim.
It's a Super Nintendo and Genesis
Oh yeah, well
game.
those. Oh god, yeah, those are. Ugh.
I think they're better than the arcade game, though.
Really?
They might be. It's so mundane. I know that's another big word. Sorry. It's so slippery and just so bland.
I don't even. Maybe we did try it one time.
Yeah,
I gotta fuck this.
I think you could argue maybe one of the best games they made was Turok: The Dinosaur Hunter.
All of them?
The first one, at least.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah, and they may have partnered with Acclaim on that. Maybe it wasn't just Sculptured, but they had a hand in the making of Turok: The Dinosaur Hunter.
So basically, a claim was like a front.
Yeah. Oh yeah. they had teams.
It's like they take. It's basically like, oh yeah, like they just take. You would. I mean, you weren't paying attention to who published it or made it. You just whatever name was on the box was. You just assumed all right, they made it. Whatever.
Right. Well,
so they just take all.
They didn't want you to know who the developer was.
They take all the credit. Just throw our name on there.
The most legendary and iconic game they ever made, though, was Legends of Wrestling 1 and 2. I didn't really play those. I think they were terrible, right? Those were PlayStation 2 games?
Yeah, and Xbox. They actually made one on the Game Boy Advance.
Had like Hogan on the front, like
flexing. Yeah, it was either the first one or the second one. Yeah. They're not, I mean, yeah. It's unfortunate because it's like such a cool idea and concept to do.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
So, Wrestlemania the Arcade Game.
Wrestlemania.
So it came out in 95, which
95, huh?
Honestly, I thought was a little late. I would think that this would have been a game that came out a little bit earlier. When you think Mortal Kombat came out in about 92?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat Day was 93. But yeah, so the arcade was like probably 92.
92, then the home port was 93.
Yeah.
So this was 95, so it was actually a couple of years later. There were a bunch of ports that came to the Genesis, 32X, SNES, PSX.
The Amiga.
Those all came out at the end of 95. A Saturn port did follow in mid 96. There was a DOS version, an MS DOS version.
Sega Mark II version.
No. Most versions have 8 characters. Most versions,
as in all of them except one.
Except one.
We just gonna forget about you over there.
I think the thing that I want to mention about this game, just kind of off the top, is that
off the cuff.
Any game that Midway made back then, it was more than just the sum of the gameplay. They were really good about putting in all the different little touches that kind of sealed up the cracks a little bit and just made it more than just the gameplay itself.
Yeah.
So
it was like that over the top kind of feel to it.
Yeah. When you start this game and you are going down the runway or whatever, you've got like the flashing cameras and you've got the crowd going crazy. When the versus screen happens, it shows both of the stones smacking against one another, and then there's particles of the stone that get knocked off and that come out.
I mean, it's all kind of a front because it's. I mean, in terms of this game, it's kind of like a bare bones kind of game. There's not many options.
So they really needed to kind of backfill it with extra little effects to make it appealing.
Because it is an arcade,
especially as an arcade.
Yeah, because it is just an arcade game. So
it's I'm not gonna say it's like Quench Gum, where it loses its flavor really quickly, but it's
Quench Gum.
Yeah, you remember Quench Gum?
Who the Quench?
Yeah, they used to sell it at Sports Authority and Dick's.
Yeah, because that's where everyone goes to get their fucking gum. Let me get some baseball gloves, a bat. You have Quench Gum?
It was supposed to be like this athletic gum. I don't know if
it have electrolytes in it?
Energize you or electrolytes. But within 5 seconds, it was like stale.
Yeah, so it's like Fruit Stripe.
Kind of, yeah.
Quench Gum.
Quench Gum, yeah. Look it up.
The sports gum.
Pretty much is what it was. But I shouldn't have compared it to Quench Gum because it's a game that can be it's like a party game. I mean, you can play it with a bunch of friends, passing the controller back and forth. There is a campaign where you can go through and try to win I
wouldn't call it a campaign.
The WWF belt, the championship belt. But it has these little part, like the ropes. When you throw a guy down, there's like a line scrolling effect where the ropes are kind of bouncing up and down. Which looks really cool. You can hear the crowd, kind of cheering on as you're fighting. When you do like a power move on a guy, you can see like for the Narcissist, where
you mean Flexi Lexi?
Yeah, Lex Luger
and the Lex Express.
You see like dumbbells popping out of him when you're smacking them, or like Razor Ramon has gold chains. Yeah,
gold chains.
You're hitting them in gold chains, or Bret Hart has hearts that get knocked out of him. Yeah, So it has a lot of those little effects, but I think the thing that really makes the presentation gold in this game is the commentary from Vince McMahon and Jerry Lawler, especially Vince.
Yeah,
His voice, hearing his voice and commentating is one of the things that just like you feel like you're watching.
you have to give it up to Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Pin him.
But it's one of those things where if you play this, it shows how integral and important sound is to gaming. Because if you played this game without sound versus with sound, it's a totally different experience.
Yeah, I mean, if you think it's like NBA Jam, like Vince McMahon is the NBA Jam commentator of this game.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
that's the thing, and I wrote this down, is that it plays like less like a wrestling game and more like a fighting game with wrestlers in it.
Yeah, well, of course.
And I literally said it's the NBA Jam of wrestling games.
Oh,
in a way. And you look at the influences of this game. There's really two, and it's
Mortal Kombat
and NBA Jam.
And it's kind of where like will come out later is like Blitz,
Right.
like that kind of over the top football
Exactly.
style,
Just
which
in
is
the ring.
which obviously was an arcade game too. You know.
Yeah. Let's start with the characters. I mean, they're digitized, so it's right away you get a Mortal Kombat vibe because that they use the same type of mocap. You know, there's actually a YouTube video where you can actually see some of the the motion
did you
capture.
pull it up?
I did look at some like Yokozuna like
just standing there.
Yeah, and like popping on the thing
Yeah.
in front of the jumping on the mat.
It's like, oh, you're not doing it right.
But yeah, so check that out if you guys get a chance. I think that's kind of an interesting thing to see. I mean, it took a lot of work for them to do that back in the day, but it really
they had to get him in like every position,
right.
You know.
But it looks really fluid in motion though when you.
Oh yeah,
when
like you wouldn't.
The animation is really good, especially in like the 32-bit ports of this game. You can see like the animation is really really well done. You know,
put all the frames in there.
Yeah. By 95, Mortal Kombat 3 had come out, and Sculptured Software made the home port of that. So Mortal Kombat was a huge influence on this game. But then we talk about NBA Jam. One of the things is like the crowd in the back. It's like the identical type of a thing where there's this crowd and they're all standing up and cheering or taking pictures at the same time.
Digitized crowd.
Right. Which it doesn't look great. Like the characters. Like
no, there's like 3 colors. There's like a blue and brown and. I mean,
I feel like it looked better in NBA Jam itself. Like there were more layers to it.
Oh yeah. This one's only like, depending on what version you're playing. I think maybe on the Saturn version there's like maybe like 4 or 5 like rows, and then like
I didn't notice.
And then like in the other ones there's only like 2 or 3.
1 or 2.
Yeah, there's like and there obviously like on the Super Nintendo and Sega one there's only like like 2 frames of animation in the background. You know?
Unlike Mortal Kombat and more like NBA Jam, there's a free movement of depth, so you can actually go back into the ring or more forward, closer to the screen.
Yeah, and then
it's not on just like a 2D plane.
Yeah, and then this one like because the ones that had came out before this was like Raw and Royal Rumble. So on this one you can actually go.
Also made by Sculptured Software.
Yeah, on this one you can actually go. It's not like you can go like behind the ring.
You can't go behind the ring.
In the back, which not in the
32X version though.
Oh, was it? Which one? Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So you can actually, you can go like behind the ring, which in all the games that you had made since then, you can only go on left and right and in the front.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like a huge deal, but
that's pretty neat. They were able to do that. It really does though have that fun even if you lose type of a thing where you just kind of want to continue to play because the crazy over the top action just makes it really really fun.
Yeah, it's got like those you can get like those Killer Instinct kind of combos, like those like super crazy combos. You'll end up like keep like punching and uppercutting someone like stories up and then they'll like fall back down.
Yeah, and I haven't played the game enough to kind of pull those off, but I've seen them. You can make, that's another thing.
Yeah, it's like Killer Instinct. It's like left, right, down, left, A, B, left, right, down. Yeah, it's like
you're just destroying a guy. Yeah. There is a finisher move that the Undertaker does, where he actually puts a guy in a casket and then he goes down under the ring, and there's a R.I.P. Tombstone that's there.
Oh, that was probably only in the 32-bit versions.
But no, he's the only one that has a finisher though.
Yeah.
That anybody's ever discovered.
It's kind of weird.
Which is weird. Why wouldn't you have it for everybody?
Yeah.
So, it definitely gets its kind of character from those two. But then if you try to take the DNA of those two games and kind of mash them together, it almost creates its own thing. Like I wouldn't say that this game, WrestleMania the Arcade Game, is a Mortal Kombat game or an NBA Jam game. I think it really has its own sort of character.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it is missing like a lot of things that it should have had for the time.
Tell me more.
You know, like, first of all, there's only 8 characters. Like,
right.
At least I mean, I get in the arcade, like the arcade game, I guess you only need like 8 characters, but like at least they could have given you something.
That's like a standard Street Fighter
like
thing.
an 8, yeah. But I mean, this is 95 though, you know, like the first, yeah.
Right.
Like at least when they ported it home, they could have given you something extra. Like they literally gave you nothing extra. Like they could have actually took stuff away in certain versions.
It's funny because I was playing Street Fighter Alpha. I had gotten it in when I was trying to collect all the Saturn games, and Street Fighter Alpha 2 has like 25 characters or something like that, and Street Fighter Alpha has like 8, and I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting like a huge roster.
Yeah.
But I think that came out around the same time as well, like in the 95 era.
Yeah.
So it might have been that it wasn't until Mortal Kombat started to really expand their rosters that other games.
I mean, just on the second Mortal Kombat they went from they went from 7 characters to 12.
Right.
In Mortal Kombat 2.
Right. But maybe there was a little bit of a lag before that kind of started to...
Right. But I mean, they could have like... I mean, maybe because the way they did it, they would have had to do motion capture for like whatever characters they would, if they were going to add characters, they probably have to go through all that whole process again.
Right.
I'm assuming that's why they didn't do it.
Right.
But I mean, they at least could have added some more modes into the home version, like, you know,
instead of just Intercontinental or World, Championship.
Yeah, like they could have done like, I mean, even though there's only 8 characters, they probably still could have done a tag team, or at least a tag team mode, like a tag team, like, well, I guess no, because there's not even a tag team mode. It's just a co-op WrestleMania Rumble.
Yeah.
It's like what the fuck? Yeah, so I mean, if you know wrestling at all, there's the Royal Rumble, where's over the top. So in this one, if you do, when you're in 2-player, there's only 2 modes. There's 1-on-1 or a co-op WrestleMania challenge
where you share the same health bar, but yet you can hit each other.
And it's a Royal Rumble, but it's really not. So the way it is once you take all the life out of an opponent, they just leave the ring, and then another person comes in. But yeah, so 1 and 2 players share the same life, and they can accidentally hit each other too, and it's just nuts. Especially because you can like 5 hits and your bar's done basically.
Right.
And then that's the only 2-player mode really.
Yeah, and at least when we played the 32-bit version, the difficulty was high.
Yeah,
it seemed, at least. I mean, we didn't play it for too long, but
yeah. I mean, it's one of those games where you kind of have to know it's a Mortal Kombat Street Fighter where you have to kind of know the button presses for each one. So
you sort of got to get used to it.
Yeah, and there's a lot more elements to this than just like a regular fighting game. Since you can move all over, you can go on the top rope, you can run off the ropes, dude, running moves.
I think it's deeper than we've allowed it to kind of work its way through.
Yeah.
So I'd like to spend some more time with it and kind of get used to the controls. I can already tell I like it a lot more than Mortal Kombat, and when I played it when I was younger, I actually liked it pretty well. Like I enjoyed playing this game. Oh, regularly, yeah.
Than Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, I for some reason there's a brain gap between me and Mortal Kombat. So there's something that's missing, where I don't get.
Yeah.
It's very stilted in my mind. The movements are very, very, very stilted, and you have to follow a specific combo press, or timing. Timing is really, really key in Mortal Kombat, and for some reason it just doesn't work for me. But I enjoy playing this game, and with all the over-the-top action, with how it doesn't take itself seriously. It's just, have a great time. You experience this, like the noises, the slaps, the smacks.
Yeah, especially like Doink the Clown. He uses like the little hand buzzer, and you like you'll shock the other person. It's just I mean that's why like they threw like a curveball when this like came out. They're like, oh yeah, our next game is gonna be an arcade game fighter, and like as opposed to what the ones that had came out before were just like straight up like punch and kick kind of like wrestling. I mean, they were really good though. I mean, I enjoyed them a lot.
But button masher to try to get the combo. Yeah, I don't like those games. But
really,
yeah, they're just
WWF Raw.
They're so intense They're so intense, and you have to be like you're sweating so hard because you're pressing the buttons so fast to try to be the one to.
Dude,
to,
you just punched him like,
I still make those noises with Sal whenever we're wrestling, and I do like the when he's choking him out.
Yeah, just
You gotta put that in here.
yeah, just like when you punch the ref, it's so satisfying because it's just like and he just gets knocked out.
Those are games that I definitely played as kids. Those are when I was a kid. That was games we played with our friends.
So like I'm saying, in that one there is a Royal Rumble mode, and you can do 4-player, and it's like it's throw him out of the ring
a little bit more.
But in this one, it's just like
by the book.
Yeah, it's just it's like unfortunate
because
it's like
it's a free for all.
Yeah. And just the fact that like you have to like share, like they could have put like a single player like Rumble mode where you're just like there's 3 other characters in the ring and like it's everyone for themselves and you're just kind of taking everybody out.
Right, almost like a No Mercy type of thing.
Yeah, and it's not like there would have been. I mean, I don't feel like there would have been that much more like programming or whatever to do to add it, and like.
But it's just insane because you start out in the campaign
tonight's matchup,
and you're fighting 2 characters, and then in the end I think you have to fight 3 characters at once, and we could barely get through a round with the first match with 2 characters that you're fighting, and so they each have their own health bar, but you only have one, and so you really have to know the game very well to be able to survive it. But I mean, that being said, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's one of those things that you can't take it too seriously. You just have to have a lot of fun, and there is some nuance to it that you can develop over time, I'm sure, but you just have to spend some time with it.
Yeah, it's like for some reason I'm more obsessed with what they didn't put in the game than what they actually have in the game. Because
there was so much potential. To do it.
I
imagine that the mocap was a big deal for them. Yeah, to have to do all that.
No, I'm just saying, like adding more modes and that doesn't have to do with like adding more characters or whatever. You got 8 characters, but you could at least put some other modes in it or had some like maybe different arenas, like maybe like a different ring, like a SummerSlam ring.
So they ended up doing that in the sequel, which is WWF in Your House,
which is not good. But
every character has their own.
Yeah, but that was like British Bulldog. You're like in like a fucking doghouse or like. Right. So it's like kind of stupid like that. But like this would there were just simple like color swaps basically, and they could have they could have had the Monday Night Raw ring, which would just all they had to do was change the color of the ring and the ropes.
Yeah,
just kind of simple.
Change the skirt.
Yeah, simple stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I mean, whatever.
Well, it's still
No, it's an iconic game. It's a fun game. Yeah,
and in fact, when
I would never say don't not play it.
Play it if you have the opportunity to play it, right?
Yeah. Unless it's the Super Nintendo version.
Well, we'll get to that. So when this was reviewed back in the day, it was mostly reviewed.
But what's the GamePro review?
Yeah, so mostly it was the 32X and the Saturn and PlayStation versions that were reviewed, and they all, for the most part, got very, very high scores.
Because they were pretty much arcade perfect,
Yeah, one of the reviewers, I don't know which one, said that basically that you could not make another wrestling game on this on PlayStation after this. That this was the best wrestling game and nothing would top it. But that was the sentiment in 1995, 1996, when this game came out. Was that
that sounds like a paid review right there?
Well, it got 9s and 8s for the most part.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but when you say it's like you can't make
GamePro gave it the top 32X game of 1995, which was the meat and potatoes of the 32X's existence.
Yeah,
it was basically 1995. It was the end of 94 and all of 95, and it got the GamePro Game of the Year for 32X.
Did it really?
Yeah. In 1995.
Jesus.
Yeah. I couldn't find really much about the Genesis or Super Nintendo versions in terms of reviews. Like, EGM didn't review it at all.
Really?
For them, yeah.
I feel like I remember seeing the game.
Could have been in GamePro.
I feel like the at least the Super Nintendo one, because I remember it getting like snoozed. You know how they had that little the guy with
it was blue
or like purple. It was like a light purple.
It was 2s then. They got 2s.
Yeah, because the game is I don't even know how
So
to.
that's like a 4 out of 10.
I can't even describe how slow it is.
So we played the Saturn version. So the 32-bit version.
It's almost like too fast. It's just, it's just fucking shit everywhere.
And the Super Nintendo version and the Super Nintendo version immediately when you start it up, right away there's slowdown. And then I remember we played it when I had first gotten it from the Gaming Gambit.
Because I got off like a couple bucks. Wasn't it like a surprise game or something like that?
It was a 10 for 10. If you
that's what it was.
If you got 10 games, you got them or $2 a piece or something like that. And so they had just a bucket of games, and I got 10 games for $10 or $20 or whatever it was. And that was one of the games in there. I was like, oh, I mean, it's a Super Nintendo game. I mean, you got to get it if it's $2 or whatever. And it's barely playable. And when you get the four characters on screen,
forget it.
And we're
only talking about like a one-on-one match.
And you're HBK, and then there's 2 other HBKs on the screen, and you have red and white pants. And
there's
then
too many hearts breaking.
Yeah,
in
the other
screen.
one's blue and white, and the other one's green and white, and it's like there's just way too much Shawn Michaels on the screen.
Yeah, there's too much sexy boy.
So.
And then they said boom, out of here, to Bam Bam and Yokozuna. They just took them.
It's the
out
only
of the
version.
game.
It's the only version that has 6 characters instead of 8. And
it's like Super Nintendo couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you guys can get a copy of either the PlayStation version or the Saturn version, which they say is the best of the home ports because it came out later and it was more refined, but any one of the 32-bit ports would be great. The one port that I was really excited to play was the 32X version.
I know, we've been building it up for like for years, like just the hunt to get the 32X version.
I know.
And then we picked it up 2 years ago at the Retro Game Con. Some guy had it for, I was like specifically there looking for Wrestlemania the Arcade Game.
There was one copy.
And then some guy had it, and I was looking at it. The case was a little beat up, and it didn't have the manual, and he's like, oh, I'm like, oh, what are you asking for? And he was like 70. I was like, because it didn't have the case has just a couple like, not like kind of like holes or like dents in it, and then it didn't have the manual. I was like $70 without the manual. I'm like, So then I was like, yeah, I'll like.
It was almost the end of when we were going to be leaving.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll think about it or whatever. And then he was like, so you know what? I could tell you really want it. How about $40? I was like, oh, all right, half off almost.
Right. I thought that was reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, who's looking for Wrestlemania the Arcade Game on 32X? You know, like it's like the only
very
two people,
specific person.
Yeah, a huge wrestling fan or someone that just needs to complete a 32X collection.
Right.
And those are few.
And those people are out there.
few and far between. Like, let alone just finding like 32X games in general. Is besides Doom and Virtua Racing, those are the ones you always see. So yeah, $40.
Probably the 2 best games on it.
Well, yeah, yeah. That's why you always see them everywhere because they're the only ones that like sold.
Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, is that what I said? Doom and Virtua Fighter.
Virtua Racing. You said.
Oh, did I? Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so $40, and that was 2 years ago, and I actually almost like to the well, not to the day, but when was that, November?
Sal was
October?
asking. We were in downtown Hartford, and he's like, "Daddy, we're gonna go to the game show," and I was like, it actually would have been like this coming weekend.
Well, the one in Hartford.
Yeah.
I got this at the
Syracuse
one.
retro
Game Con.
Game Con would have been.
Yeah, but whatever, like a month away or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, it's
so.
Oh yeah, so we tried to. So today was actually the first time we actually. So it was 2 years sitting on a shelf.
It happens. It happens to you guys too. You guys buy games and then don't play them for a while, and then.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time it's just about collecting them,
Right.
So yeah, we were gonna boot it up.
Games are meant to be played.
Yeah, and it was a no-go.
No dice.
So the thing is, if you look on the back of the Genesis and 32X games, I don't know if the Genesis and 32X are all the same, or at least the Sega ones. Mm-hmm. They use the same screw on the back, and so the Acclaim
they use a game bit versus a Torque screw.
So yeah, and of course it's an Acclaim game, and they use the Torque screw, and I was kind of nervous, and I pulled up like Quarterback Club and the other Acclaim games, and they all use the same thing. So we can't even take the cartridge apart to like clean it.
We need a Torque. We don't have a Torque screw right now.
So yeah, as of now, the game doesn't work. But I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm sure it'll work. It just needs to get cleaned.
Well, yeah, I hope so. Well, we'll see. If we can get a torque screw, we've got the Brasso. Try to polish it up.
We're in business.
And see what we can get. I'm really excited to play it because that was a game that is sort of kind of the best of both worlds in a way, where it has it's got the quick action and the large sprites, but yet it's got that sort of MIDI track, sort of music.
I kind of like the even on even on the Genesis version, like the music, it's still pretty good. I mean, even though there weren't as many like commentating, there's not as many there's not as many voice clips or whatever. But I mean, it's still a solid game.
Yeah, and the 32X version is like locked at 30 frames per second, so it's pretty quick, and the action is pretty like consistent. Whereas some of those earlier versions or some of those lesser versions were a little bit juttered, or especially the Super Nintendo version, where the action is just so slow and the slowdown
like
is
if
so
you
rampant.
compare the sprites on like the Sega and Super Nintendo to like the PlayStation, they're definitely like way smaller than the 32-bit version. But the thing also that's great on 32X is there's no load time. So if you're in the Royal Rumble WrestleMania Challenge mode, so once you take someone out, they'll roll out, and then when the next person comes in, it has that like 3-second delay. So it kind of like
it kind of a lot of loading in those CDs.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it kind of ruins the flow of the match when you're like in mid move and it like freezes.
Right.
So I mean, that's just like that was just during the time. I mean, you couldn't really avoid that. I don't think back then. I mean, maybe there was a way, but
it was early on in that life cycle of those systems. So
yeah.
I'm sure that if it was 1999 and not 1995, they would have maybe had a better solution. But it's still it's manageable. It's not ideal, but it's manageable.
Yeah.
The advantage of those 32-bit versions is that it has more of the voice, more of Vince. You need to see more Vince. The more Vince you have, the better.
Pin him. Yeah, because in the Saturn version, when you do the pin him, it's actually like people in the crowd. They're like, pin him, pin him, pin him, pin him. And then in like the Sega version, it's just Vince going, pin him, pin him, pin him. I'm just like fucking over and over again.
I don't think I've ever seen a video game cover that has a picture of the arcade unit behind it, like in the picture. Yeah,
there's actually there's like advertisement ones where it's like Brett is like, he's got his like arms like wrapped around it like he's pulling it.
Yeah.
It's like prime Bret Hart.
But on the cover here, it's a picture of the arcade machine with the gameplay in the background. So.
Yeah, and if you zoom in on my phone, it's actually the background on my phone.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah. That's right. I think you maybe took that picture when we were at that show.
Oh no! I know I screenshotted. I just looked it up on Google, that front cover. Yeah,
I got you. Well, why don't we talk about some memories, Trent?
Oh, you know what doesn't really, so it's a small thing. It doesn't really have their signature moves in it either.
Oh,
that's
right.
Like Bret Hart is the sharpshooter. Obviously, you can't. There's no sharpshooter.
It's more like Mortal Kombat, so there's no.
Yeah, but I mean, why wouldn't you?
As a finishing move, maybe.
Why wouldn't you put like a sharpshooter? Like I don't even know if Shawn Michaels has like a sweet chin. He has like a high kick, but it's not technically like, sweet chin music.
Yeah.
And I think Razor might have the Razor's Edge. It's just like kind of like a regular move.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I think it's just like when you grab them and you can like hold their head down. I think you can do like it's like a quick Razor's Edge.
Okay.
But yeah.
Can you put a guy in the rack?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
It's like a super, like, he like picks him up, it's like, boom! And then like,
oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
So there's no real uniformity in this game where every character has the same stuff or their same, everybody's got a signature move. It's like, well, they incorporated some of them with some characters, and then with others, they really didn't do that.
Yeah. I guess it's more with like Brett because his is a submission. So,
same with the Undertaker. Like, Undertaker has a tombstone. I mean, he's got the
tombstone and choke slam. Yeah, where he'll just kind of like hold them up and then slam them down.
All right.
But yeah, it's like Bret Hart. How do you not have the sharpshooter? He's the excellence of execution.
This is all true. I agree with you. We're on the same page.
Yeah, like literally. But the thing is, literally, I would always play with Shawn Michaels. That was pretty much the the only
You still do.
the character I use, and I still remembered some of the moves. It was like forward. Cause I will always play with a 3-button controller. I don't think I had a 6-button controller, so it was like it was weird. I had it down. I would hold I wouldn't hold it like a regular controller. I'd kind of
You'd hold it like an arcade pad.
Weird because I would
flip your hand this way and tap the buttons with these.
Kind of, because from what I remember, I think it was A and C to run, or like A and B to run. So I had like a way. It was like hold the A, C to run, and like press the other button because you do like that Hurricane Rana.
I never had a 6-button controller when I was a kid either.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It was like a combination of way to run, because like on the Saturn, there's like A, B, C, X, Y, Z. So I think like Y was to run,
right?
And then there's like I think there's like a strong, medium kick and punch and stuff like that. So on the 3-button, it was like A and C to run, and then like if you press A and B, it was like to grab.
That's like putting in work just to get the moves off.
Yeah, but I just remember like blasting through the game. Like it wasn't. I mean, maybe that's just because I played it on. I might have played it on just like easy.
Or you just played it enough.
Yeah,
that you just knew what to do. You just got used to it. You know.
Yeah, I think that was
repetition.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I had rented a few times from either the ShopRite or Stop and Shop. And then I just ended up buying the game at Caldor. It was like, I think it might have been. I think I got it a little bit later after it came out, so it might have been like 40 or 50. But yeah, I don't even remember playing it with anyone else. I think I just played by myself. I think I just played by myself like all the time.
But it's a game you can play by yourself, and you can just dig into it to try to beat the Wrestlemania challenge.
Yeah.
To be the world title holder, you know, the big belt, you know.
Yeah, it was to do that 3-on-1.
I never owned a 6-button pad. We used to go over to Matt's house all the time, and
Matt, he's always had that top tier.
He did. He had the SG Pro pads. You know those with the programmable.
Oh geez, yeah.
Where
with the little click things to program the button.
So basically, it was like you would press the blue button. It was like a mode button, and then you selected whichever buttons by pressing them, and then there was a little screen that had A, B, C, X.
Oh,
Y, C,
yeah.
And it would light up red and then you hit the button again, and then basically those would be. Is
that the one that had the little LCD screen on it?
It wasn't an LCD screen.
Oh, okay.
It was just lights, and it had an outline of each letter. And so when you wanted to make that like a turbo fire,
yeah,
you did that, and basically only the buttons that you selected for turbo would be turbo fire. So you could your jump button could be regular, but then you could actually make the B button, let's say the attack button, have that be turbo. And I'll never forget, we always used it for Rocky on Master System because he had the power base converter.
Oh God!
So we would play, because Rocky you could never beat because you could never do the training missions fast enough. So we would put the turbo fire on the action button, and then we would blow through the training missions, and we'd have all the power in the end. And you had to basically just punch straight forward against Drago, and you still wouldn't always win. But
look at so there's two versions.
There's two versions.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. The one with the LCD screen on it.
One that has the LCD screen, then there's the other one that doesn't. And he had the earlier model that didn't have that.
They made the Sega one exactly like a Super Nintendo controller.
That's different though. There was there's a black SG Pro pad.
Yeah, and this one too.
I have one of those.
The ABC is
the LCD was broken.
Yeah, it's weird because this is a Sega one too, and they made it a 4-button like a Super Nintendo.
Right. And then they have the 3 side buttons or whatever those are.
Yeah, this was the other one.
That's
yeah, I remember. I think one of my friends had this one. That one.
Yeah, that's the one. And you hit that blue button, and then you could select them, hit it again, and then they start flashing, and that's how you know it's.
I think Johnny had this one. The D-pad on I think sucked.
See, we never had an issue with it, but maybe a lot of people say that controller is terrible. But
yeah, they were like the buttons were weird. I don't know, how do you describe it? They weren't like it was like you had to like really press the button. It wasn't as like, I don't know how to describe it. Like if you have the Sega controller, you just press the button and then just kind of, they just like they like go in fine and they come like the button comes back out like and it's easy to press. These ones are more like sticky. I felt
maybe we never had an issue with them, but it's possible.
And like the D-pad is like it's like really stiff.
Oh, okay.
You know,
almost like the Genesis.
Like on the
3.
Sega one, how it kind of like. It can kind of move around a little bit,
right?
Like you can like angle it and everything. This one was like really stiff. It barely had any movement to it.
I gotcha. It was
so like
rigid.
So yeah, if you're like playing like Street Fighter and you want to do a Hadouken or whatever, it was like really,
I
it
got
was really like it was like a hard like D-pad. Like it barely had any like
there's no
give to it.
There's
Yeah,
give in the D-pad. I hear you.
Yeah, I remember those. Man, those were the worst when you would go to a friend's place and they had a third-party controller.
Not the SG Pro Pad. The worst was the Quick Shot. If you got the Quick Shot, you knew you were.
Oh, you're talking about the one that didn't have the D-pad? It was like the radio. That's the Radio Shack controller.
We got them.
I had one.
Those were our extra controllers for Super Nintendo, and you never wanted to use that controller because it was so stiff and terrible.
Yeah.
You were working with a handicap. Like if you had the Quick Shot controller, you were fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like everyone back in the day, it was like you had the one regular controller that came with it, and then you had to get a third-party controller because like
Super
you
came
couldn't
with
really
two.
afford.
Super came with two, so we had to get two more controllers because we had the Hudson Bomber 4-player adapter.
Yeah.
And we used to play NBA Jam on Super Nintendo.
Because you go to KB and they're only like $10 for a third-party controller.
That's where we got it.
Or like the regular ones were like $25. Remember we were like, damn, $25 for a controller? Remember those days? Now they're like fucking $70.
Now they're $70. I know. I don't know. Have you seen what the PS5 controllers are going to go for? And they must be like $100 or something.
That ain't true! That's not true! So get your facts straight.
Oh, really?
The way it looks, all the things that it does, it's got to be $80 at least.
Well, aren't the Joy-Cons 80 or is it 70?
I don't even know now.
I think it's 70.
So those are your memories, just playing by yourself?
Yeah.
You got it for Super Nintendo, or you just rented it?
No, not on Super Nintendo. Sega.
Oh, on Sega.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You know, I found out about how terrible the Super Nintendo one was because Matt Marchand had it. Because he was like a big wrestling fan and he only had a Super Nintendo. I was like, oh, you got a Wrestlemania the Arcade Game. And then I remember going there. I was like, wait, why? There's only 6 characters in this game? I was like, whoa.
Do you remember the slowdown back then?
Oh, yeah. Because I had the Sega version and it was like.
You probably felt so lucky that you had the Genesis version.
It ran smooth and I'm like, oof, this is not good. I just
tell him that? Or
I don't remember.
Probably not.
Like, I mean, I guess if
we were more polite back then.
I guess it's it's that thing. It's if you hadn't played any of the other versions, then I guess you might think it's fine. But I mean, it's passable if you put yourself in that mind state where you never played any other version.
Right.
You don't have anything else to compare to. I mean, but damn, like 6 characters.
I don't have a problem with it if it's you can't judge it against like obviously the PlayStation or the Saturn, but when you do judge it against the Genesis, which came out 2 years earlier, and the Genesis is running faster and has more characters. I mean, the more characters has nothing to do with the power of the system. The more characters has to do with how much memory they're putting in the cartridge.
Yeah.
But the slowdown is something that is not the cartridge's fault.
It's like you would because in my mind back then I was like, oh, the Super Nintendo is
better.
just a better system. It's just like more powerful.
Exactly.
And then you come to realize
that's what we all thought.
Yeah, it's like that's because I remember I was like, why is this Super Nintendo version like? You always thought the Super Nintendo was superior. Or like whenever like the game would come out on both systems,
games.
You would just think, oh, you gotta get the Super Nintendo version.
Well, because it has more colors.
Yeah, I mean that's what it was. I remember when Mortal Kombat 2 I was like when Mortal Kombat 2 came out. And they were like, you'd see the reviews and like the comparison ones. You'd like, all right, well, the Super Nintendo version is obviously the one to get. It looks so much better than the Sega one. But yeah, this.
We only knew that it was a stretched out screen and.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever. I still think I think Mortal Kombat 2 on Super Nintendo is better than the Sega one, but.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Oh yeah.
I have the 32X version, which I think is like the best
more
of that.
Towards the arcade version.
I think maybe I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't really play Mortal Kombat, but
yeah, I just remember like why like I couldn't like wrap my head around why they took the characters out and it was just so slow. It like just didn't I couldn't understand it.
You went home and like hugged your cartridge. You're like, oh, I missed you.
I love you.
Thank God I have you in my life.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll
never cheat on you again.
This was like 95. This was like peak. Well, not peak. It hadn't even reached the pinnacle of my wrestling fandom,
Oh, no.
That was kind of like at the start of it.
Pinnacle? You are you kidding me?
You fucking bro.
I would say 5 years later than that, like 2000.
Well, yeah, no, I would no
90
probably
99?
98. Yeah, 97. I mean, that's the one. It was literally at the height.
Mine was 98, 99.
Yeah. But I mean, I was in the trenches.
Yeah.
Because actually, that year was when I went to WrestleMania 11, 95.
Oh, all right.
In Hartford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any other memories of the game?
No, that was pretty much it.
So you rented it and then you ended up buying it
Yeah,
later?
I remember renting it, but I don't know if it was from Stop and Shop, Blockbuster, or ShopRite.
Did you buy it from there or did you?
No, I bought it from Caldor.
Oh, okay.
I said that. Yeah, I bought it from Caldor,
I
and
gotcha.
I think it was a little bit after it came out, so I think I might have got it for like 40 or 50.
Gotcha.
I mean,
times.
it was worth it.
Did you really Did you get a lot out of it back then?
Yeah, because I remember playing it like often, like maybe that was like the Sega game I was playing at the time for a while.
Before you got to PlayStation?
Yeah, I didn't get a because I think I got a PlayStation a little while after it came out, maybe like a year after it came out.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I was still deep into Sega.
It's like September 96.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm.
Yeah, because I was still deep in Sega, and I think I had my Super Nintendo, but I think I was playing more Sega at that time.
Okay. It's funny because like Donkey Kong Country was coming out, and
Yeah, I never,
Country 2,
I didn't get Donkey Kong Country. I mean, my friends had got Donkey Kong. I never bought it back then.
That was a big game for me.
No, I know. It was big.
So, did you know that I owned this game back in the day?
No, I did not.
I did. And when I say
Wait,
back in the day,
you bought it when it came out?
no.
Oh.
So
I found it somewhere.
I didn't. This is one of the games. This is one of the choice few games that I owned on PC. And I got it on the clearance. KB Toys big box clearance.
Yeah, that does make sense.
1999 or 15.99. I got it with the Big Bass game.
I'm surprised it wasn't. You sure it wasn't like $10 at that point?
And Celebrity Poker starring Joe Piscopo.
Oh wait, did you
Morgan Fairchild?
Wait,
which I played more than the other two games, by the way.
Yeah. You brought up that Celebrity Poker and some other time too.
I know.
I don't know what it was.
Those were the three games that I got in the big boxes, and I remember playing Wrestlemania the Arcade Game and loving it.
Did you play on your keyboard?
No, I had a controller.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Damn.
I had like
the hell kind of controller did you have?
I had like a Super Nintendo 4-button for the PC.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, this is probably 1998.
Damn.
Yep.
Who would have thought, huh?
Yeah, and it was
On the
it was
on the
awesome.
PC.
And the PC version's really good.
Well, I know when you got that nice display to put it on.
Yeah, it was a VGA monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I don't remember the moves, but I just remember it being so fluid and just playing really, really well.
I mean, it probably had to play it the same, if not better, than the PlayStation and Saturn.
It's pretty much the arcade game.
Yeah, that was kind of always like the PC was literally like arcade perfect.
Yeah, well, at that time it was starting to become more, on the same level as the modern systems.
Oh, you know what? I forgot. I did end up getting it on the PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, later on. I think that's when I don't know if they put it out on. Was it ever put out like a greatest hits or like a?
I think there was a green.
Yeah, the green
version.
That's when I got it because it originally came out in the PS.
I'm pretty sure there
the
was.
PS big box when it originally came out, and then I remember I had the jewel case one, and I remember I remember playing it on the PlayStation. So
you found it for like $10 or something.
Yeah, it had to be. I probably got it at KB or something. Yeah, it was like probably like a $15 game or something.
Yeah,
I do remember playing it.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where, if you were there at that time and place playing this game, it's especially a little bit more special for you, if that's the case. And if not, it's still a fun game to play, and it's it's one of those things where you just don't take it seriously. Just have a ton of fun with it. Enjoy what they put into this game. Enjoy the sound effects, that sort of that NBA Jam style.
Yeah, it's one of those
game.
like it's kind of one of those games where NBA Jam and Blitz
play it for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say where, I mean, you don't really have to be a huge fan of like football or basketball or wrestling to
transcends
to enjoy this game. You could just kind of go in. You're a fan of like fighting games, in kind of like that arcade style, and you could probably still enjoy it. Maybe, I mean, obviously not as much when you're like, you know, invested into wrestling and everything.
Right.
But still, like, yeah, it's a really fun game.
Yeah. It's a game that makes you laugh too, just by playing it and just seeing all the wacky, over the top things that happen.
Yeah.
Or even when you get destroyed and
you're just like you're like, what the fuck? It was like 30 seconds, and you're just pinned. You're like,
yeah,
oh,
what
all right,
the
well,
hell just happened? And it's still fun. It's still a fun game to play. So
when you got Flexi Lexi in there, dude, like, well, oh yeah, like when like Lex Luger poses, sometimes he just like fucking spazzes out. He's like,
listen, that's his thing, right?
Yeah. A Greek god.
Is that Vince?
No, remember as Ric Flair when he's talking about Lex Luger? Look at him. He's a Greek god.
Man, Luger was either on his shit list or he was either like number one, huh?
Yeah, he was either like best friends or he's like, Luger, wherever you are.
Where is he?
Luger.
Oh, boy. Well, good times. So, you know, I don't know what the price that this game is going for on PlayStation. Is probably the most accessible version.
Yeah, it's got to be
under
20.
It's dirt cheap if you get it for the 16-bit consoles.
Yeah. We don't get it on the Super Nintendo. Don't get it on the Super Nintendo.
I would think the PlayStation would probably be the cheapest way to go, and probably one of the best playing ways to go.
Yeah, I mean, well, what is it? When did you get the Saturn one?
Oh, I got that a couple years ago, and I probably paid $25-$30 for it.
Oh, okay.
You know,
and it's probably like 50 now.
And maybe it's going for 50 now.
Yeah.
You know,
it's weird. You know, like, I mean, well, obviously the PlayStation was sold more, but it's like literally like the same game, but like the Saturn version is like twice as much.
Well, it's because it's supply and demand. You know, it's the Saturn market is so it's so small that, you know, just a sway here or there can really change it. Did you get an eBay coupon for $25 for their 25th anniversary?
$25?
Yeah, I got a coupon for $25 I can spend up until the 10th.
The fuck? What the fuck?
I know. Well, I've been a member for 22 years, so maybe they gave it to everybody who was a member for over 20.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been since 2002.
Oh,
When'd you get it? When'd you get it?
I got it like 3 days ago.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
It says extra 25% off 25 top brands.
No, it's not. That's until the 7th. I got that too.
They send it to your email?
Yeah, it's called Happy 25. It's a code you have to put in. Maybe you can put it in. Happy 25.
Huh. You have to use it on something that's over 100?
2501.
What?
You have to spend $25 in one
Oh,
cent
really?
to use it, yeah.
What the fuck? I don't know why. I sell stuff every day. Why wouldn't I get?
Because they already got you. So the PS1 version, the long box, goes for $34, and then the
jewel case.
The jewel case green one, greatest hits version is about $20. So
that was about right.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad way to do it. You know, it's probably the most accessible way to do it, and probably the cheapest. Somebody's got the Saturn version for almost $80, and 11 people are watching it. So
80 like best offer, or just 80 straight up?
Just 80 straight up, and
80 firm.
Very firm.
Firm on price. I when I say I'm firm, I'm firm. That's where I'm at. No offers.
It's the only thing about him that's firm. Everything else is squishy.
$80 firm on the price.
Yeah. No, I mean, some of these copies went here for $50 on the Saturn. So wherever you can find it, whatever system you have, whatever you can find it for, you know, get a chance to play it. Most of these, I would say any copy except for the Super Nintendo version is probably a good way to go.
Yeah.
So
I concur with that statement.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode. We've enjoyed doing it. And,
even if you haven't, oh well, we'll never know.
But if you guys have any feedback for the show, as we always say, give us a shout at our email, which is theturboduo@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram as the Turbo Duo. And
she knows on my G because I get Gmail.
That's right. And on Facebook as the Turbo Duo. You stole that from me. I say that all the time.
Well, some rapper said it like
Oh, really?
12 years ago.
Oh.
It was like in it was either The Source or as like one of like the worst rap lines of the year.
Oh God, yeah, it's terrible when you hear it coming out of your own mouth.
Sounds like something Jeezy would have said back then, in like 2008.
Probably. But with that, thank you guys for watching. Be safe, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it turbo.
He said, keep it turbo.
He's gonna puke. He's gonna puke.
Can you do that? Huh? You gonna get sick? That's a possibility. Huh? Oh. Huh? Oh my God! He's gonna puke! He's gonna puke! He's gonna puke! He's gonna puke! Oh man!